Hi, PE class. We're going to do something a little bit different this time because I am out of town and I'll be back on Thursday. That is the 6th. So Thursday, October 6th, I'll be back. So this is the lesson for Tuesday, October 4th. And what we're going to be discussing today is motor skills and movement patterns. Along with this video, the email I sent you has got a list of videos that go with the lesson. So I'll be referencing those videos as we go along. And I'll be telling you to pause this recording and launch those short videos, watch them, come back and hit play on this to continue on with the lesson. But don't worry, I'll explain exactly what I want you to do when the time has come. The first thing I'm going to have you do, and since you're not physically in class here with me at this second, what I'd like you to do is just use the cursor on the screen, your mouse, and just do the movement like you were drawing this little guy right here. There's a very specific reason I'm asking you to do this. So just like I'm doing right here, you can't see it on the screen, but that's what I'm doing. Drawing that guy. And that is because we are discussing motor skills and movement patterns today. So when you're doing that, when you're drawing yourself on the screen with your mouse, you're actually using some fine motor skills. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. Now, by the end of today's lesson, you'll be able to identify, explain, and apply basic motor skills in biomechanics. Motor skills are motions carried out when the brain, nervous system, and muscles all work together. And this little wordle right here has got a lot of the cool phrases that are associated with biomechanics and motor skills. The bigger the word, the more commonly used in association with biomechanics and motor skills. So tracking, that's a pretty good one. That means as I'm moving this along the screen, I could be tracking something, like I want to move it to the tracking word, and I'm doing that. So I'm tracking while I'm trying to find the word tracking. Now we're going to discuss the difference between the two types of motor skills, fine versus gross. So fine motor skills are things that you do with the smaller muscles in your body. So perhaps writing on a piece of paper or moving your mouse to follow along on the screen. Gross motor skills, however, use larger muscle groups, and some of the actions that you use within gross motor skills are things like skipping, running, hopping, and jumping. Just some of the examples. So this is the point where I'm going to ask you to please pause this video you're watching with me right now and watch this very short additional video in YouTube. So you'd have to go to the email where I sent this and select the fine versus gross YouTube video. Once you finish watching that, resume this video. And you should be back now. And we're going to discuss the biomechanics behind some other movement patterns. So we just saw a little bit about some of the differences between fine and gross motor skills. That video I showed you did get a little more advanced than we're going to really discuss after about the 3-minute 30-second mark. So really everything all the way up until that cricket bowler, which is like a pitcher in baseball, was using a combination of fine and gross motor skills. Really everything up until that point is things that we're going to be elaborating on here today. If you take a look here, there's two different types of movement patterns that we're going to be discussing. The first is locomotor movement, and the second is non-locomotor movement. Now there's a big difference between the two, and the easiest way to keep them apart, at least in my mind, is that locomotor movement is all movement where you're moving towards or away from something. So you can see slide step, walk, run, gallop. Those are all movements towards or away from something. Non-locomotor movement, on the other hand, means you're grounded or anchored to something. So stretching, curling, pulling, swinging, pushing, you're grounded or anchored to something. That's non-locomotor movement. We're going to talk about biomechanics in sports now because we're in PE, so I like to talk about sports whenever possible. Also, I figured it would be much more entertaining to discuss biomechanics when they're being performed by some of the top athletes rather than just biomechanics any other way. So I thought it would be cool to show you how some of the game's top athletes use correct biomechanics, correct fine and gross motor skills in the upper echelon, the highest level of competition. So at this point, you may pause this video and watch these 4 sports science YouTube clips that I've included in the email. The first one is going to be about throwing a fastball. This is from the fastest throwing pitcher in the major leagues. The second one is about making a pass with a basketball with great accuracy and focuses on hand-eye coordination as well. And then the third one is going to be about hard hitting, big time tackling in football. The fourth one will be about penalty kicks in soccer. So watch these 4 videos and then resume this main video. Okay, you should be back, and now we're going to be discussing something that is a little more directly relevant to you and your physical activity. Since a lot of people in this class like to go on fast walks or jogs for a good portion of their physical activity that they turn in on their journals each week, I thought it would be beneficial to you to share a quick video about how to jog very efficiently. And this way, it might help you reach some of your goals, as some of you would like to jog a farther distance or the same distance in less time, and that is your main PE goal. So this will help you achieve that goal. What I want you to do is watch this very short video and then come on back to this screen. Okay, you should be back, and we are going to wrap up here. Due this coming week, so this is for the week of October 3rd through the 7th. 5 school days, therefore 5 days of quizzes. 5 school days also means 5 days to account for on the activity journal. We're in Unit 15. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email. Again, I will be back with you and doing our regular session on Thursday, October 6th at 10:30 a.m. in Class Connect. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you then.